He's going quicker and quicker every lap. Still carrying around about 60 laps of fuel, so the cars are just going to keep getting quicker as the race continues.
Alright, are you able to start it back up?
It's already live.
Are we back and does that look better?
We'll have to see when someone comes and comments some shit.
Because that looks like 10 times better for me now.
2 for Jacob Mikkelsen, who's gone round on the exit of turn 4 in the Alfa Romeo. And he's held up Mitchell Snape coming back on track in the Mercedes. So he is going to maintain P7, albeit slightly dubiously, I think. But he's going to have a bit of a train of Hornets behind him here. So he's going to have Mitch in that Mercedes. Elliot in the Alpha Tauri, his teammate currently P2, so there's definitely pace in that car. And then fastest man on track, Owens, also joined in with the party as well. These 3 are going to be separated by less than a second.
Yeah.
Sorry, these 4 are going to be separated by less than a second, fighting over P7. And they've managed to pull about 5 seconds out to Massey behind them. As Elliot goes for a crazy move as Mikkelsen misses his braking point, runs deep into P14. Elliot was trying to dive down the outside of Mitchell Snape and get a better run around the outside of the corner. And Mikkelsen going deep, he just had to swerve inside and managed to get the place on both of them. But that's going to open
Owen here with the battery as well, yeah.
Having a run on both. He's going to try it down the inside, make it 3 wide into turn 1. Really late on the brakes. And he's just going to squeeze slightly, and that kind of pushes Mitch slightly off track. But he's going to get the move done. That's going to be Owen up into P7. He's had the pace to pull away from these guys, but he's got 11 seconds to gain on the next man down the road, which is Marek. Where that starting on the Inter strategy has really paid off for him. Currently running P6, but not really able to challenge Mazinski in front of him. But he'll be hoping for a bit more inspired strategy calls when we do get to the transition to dries. I think the rain actually has stopped, or more or less, if not completely. So we should be looking at some dry running within the next maybe 5 or 6 laps as the track dries out. I wonder if that will equalize the grid a little more based on performance of the cars, because I think the wet conditions favor the driver skill more so than the raw pace of the cars. Just a second, I've got a message.
Right, so everything, hold up, if I'm looking to our left now, if this works, beautiful. Alright, everything's back and fine.
Are we good?
Yeah, we're fine now. We're completely good to go. Right, so...
Are we definitely looking at the game because currently I see your desktop?
Well, on the stream for me, it's my game and it looks completely fine and is running beautifully.
Excelente.
So, it's running mostly beautifully, let's say. But yeah. Right, so I'm just keeping it up on my other monitor for this, so I can actually see. But yeah, I've completely had to miss the first 13 laps because I've had to be trying to fix this.
Yay! Well, I'll let you take over for a little bit because my voice isn't going to do 70 laps at that pace.
Yeah, alright, thank you, Dino, for telling me the stream is good. So, I don't know what's happened, but I've come back to this, and Alfie has now pitted for softs, as I heard you talking about how he stayed out on wets.
Yeah, he was the only man that didn't go to intermediates. Obviously not counting Marek, who started on them. So he's making the plunge here for some dry tyres. So is this going to be an inspired call?
Oh, and we've got the leaders are coming in as well. So they agree with him.
So, yeah.
This could get interesting now, as Johnny stays out because he has to.
Well, either Ian and Ferdy agree with Alfie, or Jeff agrees with Alfie, which is an entirely different thing.
Jordan doesn't. He stayed out, and he's going to stay alongside Johnny, so he doesn't think it's quite time yet. As DRS has been enabled, so it might actually be the correct time. As, yeah, Marek jumps up into P3.
Jacob's got mediums, so I'm not sure you can get 56 laps out of a set of mediums.
As everyone's going for softs.
He might be going as long as possible. Yeah, the softs do kind of melt a bit around here. You're kind of limited to the low end of the 20s, or probably the high teens, I think, for most drivers here on soft tyres. I think the typical 50% strategy is to pit around about lap 8. So you might be able to get
for hards.
18 or 19. Ooh, that's not ideal. He's going to be absolutely zero.
The traction he has right now while trying to, because those tyres are going to be absolutely freezing, and the hard tyres already have no grip as it is, so he's going to have to take this lap very carefully. Yeah. At least he'll be able to go along, so if he thinks he can keep the pace here, which in the Red Bull he should be able to, as he's braking so early for these corners, but he just has to because of, well, being on the hard tyres, yeah. And Iron's actually caught up to Marek and is now going ahead of him, so those sides definitely dry.
Slick conditions, definitely slick conditions, yeah. If he's already... He was a reasonable amount ahead of Marek, but he was nowhere near a pit stop ahead.
Yeah.
And third, he gets through as well without getting held up, so that's going to put him a little bit closer to the back of Iron, and now the DRS is enabled. That could be the advantage he needs to attack. And look how much time Johnny's lost just by having to do that one more lap.
Yeah.
To avoid a double stack. He's now 4 seconds.
Majinski's going to come out close.
5 seconds behind Ferdy.
As Majinski actually gets ahead of Jordan Kent. And is 4.5 seconds behind Johnny.
And he's on those medium tyres though, so if he can keep this gap somewhat reasonable for the first few laps, he's going to be able to go a lot longer.
Have come out side by side here. And
they did this in PCF1 last season at Cops. But no one died, and I was disappointed because they were
Marek is going to look to the inside for a move here. As he's got just about enough room. And he's going to go for the switchback, and he's got a great run there.
Beautiful.
And that's Marek up into 6th place.
That's a gorgeous move as Alfie does the fastest lap. That's the first and last time we're going to say that, I think. No offense to Alfie. He's just got a wheel, so he's now on that as Mazinski gets a 3-second time penalty as well.
Mitch
so that makes 3 drivers here. Penalties.
And Mitch on the soft tyres, you'd think you'd be able to get past here as Elliott ran a bit deep there. Yeah, and also in a Mercedes. Yeah. Completely turned a blind eye to that as Ferdy sets the fastest lap and could be going for a move here with the DRS, and he's going to send one to the inside here. And
he's going to have DRS for the run down into turn 2 as well. Of course, it's a double zone with a single detection point, so that allows him to defend a little bit. And look how much he's brightened up.
Yeah,
we've gone from a monsoon to like a lovely summer day in 20 minutes.
Yeah, as Jordan Kent here looking around the outside of Majinski, and doesn't manage to get that move, but Owen has now, he had a bit of a go at Marek, but couldn't get it, but someone who has made a move is Mitch, who's now up into 8th.
Just forced his way around the outside of turn 1, got alongside Elliott and the DRS down into 2, completed that move, so that's a nice move for the Mercedes driver up into P8.
As Alfie sets the fastest lap again.
What? What is going on?
So you can
figured out how that. I think he's figured out how his wheel works.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alfie's switched. He's in a PC3 car as a PC2 driver because he's just switched a wheel, and his time trials kind of said, "Yeah, I should be in a PC3 car." And he's also had all his assists off, which was very impressive driving in the wet for a guy on a new control platform. And with no assists when he's used to driving with them.
Ferdy now takes the fastest lap.
Ferdy goes fastest lap, and he's
already a
second
second
got out
ahead.
Of DRS of Iron.
Yeah.
He's dumped a decent amount of battery, but he's got out of Iron's DRS in a lap. I know that Williams is crap, but that's really impressive.
Jordan's going for a move here on Majinski. He wants to get this move done. He's been trying the last 2 laps, and again, Majinski forces in the long grey range. But with DRS this time, he's got a much better run. And it looks like he's got the move done on the McLaren. Who has a think about a move there.
Not going to let this go without a fight, though. As Marek and Owen side by side through turn 1 as well, and Marek's going to hold the position. Owen had the DRS, but just didn't get the traction out of turn 1.
I think this is a good example of the pace of these cars, to be fair. As Owen on the mediums and Marek on softs, well, I think it's just showing the sort of gap between the 2 cars as seems to be about 0.8 to a second the difference between the tyres, and that's scared by the cars.
There's a gap between the cars, but there's also a gap between the drivers.
True.
Markson, Owen finished second in PC2, did do some PC1 races and wasn't a million miles off the pace of sort of the midfield, but Marek is Definitely one of the quicker drivers in there.
Has yellow flags, and that's Maszynski.
Maybe don't want to back it into the barrier while you're trying to do a 3-point turn, mate.
Yeah.
But he has managed to hold P7, and he holds Mitch up as well, so that's twice Mitch has been held up by guys coming back on track. He's not going to be happy about this.
He had to think about a dive then as well.
Yeah, he's probably going to try one of his Jeddah moves, winner of our overtake of the season.
As he has, and yeah, he's trying on the outside here of the final corner.
Whoa, I think Maszynski hit the inside wall.
And he's got it done.
Trying to take the corner a little tight to make sure he gave Mitch space. I think he hit the inside wall. Owen's finally managed to get past Marek.
Yeah,
but I don't think Marek's going to leave this.
Yeah, Marek won't give up without a fight here as... Yeah.
These guys have now lost 10 seconds, though, to Jordan in the Ferrari up in P4. And Iron's up 2.2 off the back of 30 at the front.
Yeah.
With Johnny another 4 seconds back. So Johnny's gained a decent amount of time on these two. Remember, he was 5 seconds back after the pit stop. He's already gained over a second. But that's probably tied up with the amount of time that Iron's losing to 30 as well.
Yeah.
It's not the best car. Showing a bit of driver skill to do a lot of work in the wet. But now we're bone dry. It comes much more down to the performance of the car itself. And, well, we saw 30 at the end of the season in PCF2. He's very quick. Yeah. Competitive with Owen and Dino at a majority of tracks. And he's kind of showing that pace here now. As Elliot's in P8. And
both of them, they're just, you know, taking an alternate line.
That's an interesting line for turn 9. It's not the one I'd choose, but you know.
Marek's going to have the DRS here, but he is...
And Maszynski's pitting. So he's getting off those... Whoa, and he hits the pit wall on the way in. Oh, the car's still just about in one piece. So I wonder if he's got front wing damage from that clip on the wall he made last time round. That puts Kopachevsky up into P9 on those hards. So he could probably go to the end on those, but nobody else can. So he needs to try and keep a pit stop of window up to the guys that he wants to be fighting. I think currently if everyone pit, it'd probably leave him about P5. I think Jordan could probably get out before he gets there, but I'm pretty sure Owen definitely couldn't.
Oh, big moment there for Owen, and that's going to lay Marek through into the chicane there as...
Owen cuts the chicane. Maybe thought he couldn't make the corner with overheated tyres or something.
He put a bit too much power down on the curb as Mikkelsen picks up a 3-second time penalty. Currently running 11th, but I'm going to actually just take a look at the position changes and how ridiculous it is. As, well, Arjen and Johnny have got up 10 and 7, specifically as... Oh, and there's another McLaren range as well.
Yeah, David Howe
was pushing
to catch Mikkelsen, and he's just got a little too hasty in the middle of Sector 2, and he's lost the car, and, well, that's in the barrier, one of the wheels came off.
That gives me a good time to talk about position changes now anyway. Thanks for the ideal timing, but yeah. It's interesting to see, it's like what I said just before the stream died. The guys in PC1 will have that racecraft, and that's going to come to their advantage here. And well, it definitely has, as I and Johnny up 10 and 7 in the Williams, currently both running on the podium, with Marek in 5th, up 11 places from the back of the grid, and Mikkelsen currently where he started. However, that is not entirely the fault of himself, but well, there's a safety car now that's essentially just going to reset everything at this stage. And things could get interesting as Maszynski has retired in the pit lane, dropping us down to 12 runners for the last 50 laps of this race. As I think he thought he was going to get lapped there. And, well, no one choosing to pit particularly.
Yeah, I think it's not as valuable in a 100% race.
Oh, Jordan's in.
Unless you think you can save a pit stop somewhere, it's not as valuable in a 100% race. There's so many more laps for the tyres to go off, and they just last longer. I mean, most of these guys are on tyres that are only maybe what, like 4 or 5 laps old.
Jordan's going for mediums.
So they're not going to have lost too much in the way of pace.
How many laps can the mediums actually last? Because that's 49 laps as Mikkelsen gets a drive-through penalty.
I was going to shout out Mickelson as well, who managed to maintain P11 despite the carnage all around him.
Yeah.
One moment of calm in the storm. Yeah, I mean, I've done... So when we do 50% races, I've put around lap 8 for softs and gone to the end on mediums, so I think you could probably get to the end on them. They wouldn't be your best friends at the end of the race, but they could probably just about manage it.
Yeah.
I mean, assuming that the rain doesn't come back. We've gone from monsoon to bright sunny days, so
There's barely any clouds. I assume it's probably...
I mean, it was, like I say, it was literally a flooded pit lane 20 minutes ago, so... You never know.
Conditions.
That's why the Haas racing going with two big, like, shoveling water out of the cars.
Apologies a sec, you have to see my desktop again while someone complains at me.
Standard.
Oh, and that's Liam just telling everyone that it's back. Thanks, Liam. Thank you for letting us know. Okay.
Bro, Liam.
Oh, what's going on with the safety car? Kent's lost a position to Owen. I don't know if he was already behind him.
I think he might have been after he pit, actually.
For me, Mitch is minus 0.026 seconds ahead of Kent, apparently.
Oh. Mine says he's 6 tenths back.
Right. Can it fix itself?
But it's going to be interesting here, I think, though, with the Williams boys currently running 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah.
And Marek in P4 to a slightly lesser extent. How well can they defend these quicker cars now queuing up behind them? They don't have the gaps they had before. So, yeah, you've got Owen in P5 and that Alfa Romeo, which isn't the quickest car on the grid. But it is slightly better than the other two. But then right behind them, you've got Jordan and Mitch in a Ferrari and a Mercedes. They're just going to have plenty of traction. The Mercedes especially is going to have plenty of straight line speed.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see what they can do, whether they can maintain this P2, P3 that they earned themselves with just skill at the start of the race.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. The stream keeps blowing up whenever, like, I can sometimes hear you just start lagging on Discord, and every time that happens, the stream blows up in accordance with it.
That sounds like a you problem.
It sounds like my problem. Alright. Yeah. You know,
if I lag it and then the stream kills itself, it's like, yeah, you're streaming to my channel, but, like, my PC's got fuck all to do with it.
I'm not sure, you know. Oh, well. Shame
we're in
if
this
it blows
lap.
Up, but yeah, safety car is in.
At the end of lap 22, so that's going to leave us 48 laps to go.
I'm interested just to see how this is going to work, because, well, I assume Jordan's trying to go to the end there.
I'd imagine so. I think Jordan and Masti are definitely going to try and get to the end. I'm not sure if any of our other medium runners are going to manage it. It's going to be quite a long way, as Ferdy's going to go just on the entry to the final corner, which is a weird place to go because you've got to brake for it.
Yeah.
But that's going to put Ian right on his rear wing. And Ferdy's going to go very defensive down the straight, try and break some of this slipstream, and defend from the Williams behind him. And he's just about going to have enough straight line speed to make it into turn 1 in the lead. There doesn't really seem to be much in the way of gaps. I think John's been slightly caught out on those new tyres. Maybe didn't quite have enough time to warm them all the way. So there's about a 9/10 gap up to Owen in front, but Owen's likely to get held up by Marek in that Alfa Romeo, so that should allow John to catch up and kind of condense the field again for a bit more craziness.
Probably. I mean, it was our first full safety car. I don't know if there was one while I wasn't here.
Yeah, it was. We've had 2 VSCs and 1 safety car now, so 3 safety cars left, boys.
Oh, and there's yellow flags, and that's Mickelson. Oh.
He's going to do an Austin Powers 73-point turn here and manage to get the car going again. Doesn't seem to have any damage, I don't think. I think he just lost the rear end.
Yeah.
Maybe took a little bit too much inside curb through turn 5, which will spin the car out.
Ian hasn't dropped out of the DRS yet, but he definitely is on the cusp of it as well. He now has, and I think that just shows the power of the AlphaTauri compared to this Williams at the moment as well.
Ferdy spent quite a lot of battery though. He's already down at 50%, so Ian maybe just playing a little bit of the long game here. As long as he gets back in DRS before the end of the lap after this, there isn't a detection.
Ferdy had a bit of a moment there as well. that's not what he's going to want to do as Mickelson goes to the pit lane. As Alfie has made a move, but that's just Paul who has spun round. And
in a place with no cameras.
yeah, nice.
But so
Johnny's
Jacob's
really
pit,
sick into the back of Ardra.
are serving a drive-through, possibly, because he's now on 9-lap old mediums.
Oh yeah, he had
so,
that drive-through.
Yes, he did, of course. But he also sped into the pit lane on the way in for his drive-through.
So,
So that's not ideal.
penalty. Do you know what I find slightly ironic? The people who get time penalties have retired from the race. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Maszynski had one. I'm not sure. I think
He did.
David, maybe.
Yeah, I think David did. I think both McLarens had time penalties and they both retired from the race. But king of time penalties at the moment is definitely Jacob Mickelson, who's on 11 seconds. And Owen manages to make a move on Marek, as Marek got very squirrely through the second last corner. And he's going to leave him exposed to Jordan and possibly Mitch as well. As I think Jordan's going to have a go into turn 1 if he can get a little bit closer.
He thought about it.
About a look. Yeah. You can quite have the straight line speed. Ferrari engines in the back of both of those cars, so they should be pretty even in a straight line.
Yeah.
So John might have to hope Owen gets a bit of a wriggle on and he can use the DRS to his advantage at the end of this lap.
As the clouds are coming back a little bit.
Oh boy.
The clear skies have gone, but I mean,
Hey, it was nice for about 10 laps.
Yeah. We had some nice ones.
That,
I mean, it's not bad. It's still
a bit more cloud cover.
Still the sun in the sky, but that doesn't even necessarily mean anything's going to happen.
No, but it might drop the track temperature a little bit though, and keep some of these tyres from overheating quite so much, which should help with their longevity a little bit. It looks really dark actually when you're looking at the camera that, on the rundown into Sector 3.
Yeah.
It looks really dark down there.
Interested to see. I wonder if Johnny's going to fight Arjen here, as you'd think maybe they want to work together to try and stop the chasing pack from catching up to them, considering they are in that Williams. Johnny,
they're out of the DRS range of Owen.
Arjen's going to defend here, as Johnny's going to go to the outside, and they're going to be side by side through turn 1. And Arjen's going to be ahead, but Johnny does have DRS again, and he's going to try to the inside, but just not quite got the commitment to go fully for that, as that could have ended badly.
Firm but fair, and nobody's in a wall. It's fine.
Yeah.
As Johnny even had a little look into turn 4, which is a very ballsy place to try a move.
We've got a little bit of a pack starting here. It was a mistake from Maciej, and Alfie's having a look at a move on the inside, but has to sort of half back out of that because he almost went flying over the inside curb, and at that corner, yeah, you won't really survive.
The fight between the Williams boys though has brought Owen back into the DRS range of Johnny.
Yeah.
So he's going to have that
and
rear wing
all the way down to
the,
Mitch as well in 7th. So
yeah,
a lot of people.
Mitch is in that Mercedes with the straight line speed it's got.
This could definitely change very quickly now. It just looks like it's getting darker and darker.
Are we doing a night race? I mean, I know we're doing 100%. I didn't realise that meant 24 hours.
Might as well go all the way through the night now, as well,
as is tradition, we did start late, so you never know.
Yeah, honestly, we might end up going till a ridiculous time, but yeah. We do still have a good portion of this race left, as Alfie has made a move on the Red Bull of Maciej and moves himself up into 9th, and is now just looking to get into the DRS range of Elliott, which will be interesting to see if he's able to do so, as I think maybe not as many safety cars as the Williams would have liked so far.
Not quite, yeah. I think they wouldn't mind a safety car till the end of the race at this point, to be fair.
Although if there's rain, that will help them, as I've literally, I might as well have just summoned rain. I've literally just said it and it started falling.
Is it raining again?
It's raining.
What the hell? Oh yeah, you can see it from Ferdy's on board, but I was on board with Ian, it didn't look to be raining, but there's definitely spots starting to fall now.
I've literally essentially just spawn raining. The second I say it, and Iron's going into the pits.
It's far too early for Inter, surely.
Unless this is going to absolutely hammer it down.
Yeah, Iron basically needs someone to just start emptying buckets. The rain you can see is definitely getting heavier, but I still don't think it's going to be even close to intermediates.
Yeah, he's gone for Inters. Oh,
wow.
And that's Owen round there.
Ground.
Ooh.
You can see, well, yeah, some of the rain is
starting. Oh, look at the puddles already.
What?
It's been half a lap. What's going on?
It's not even that heavy. Like when you're on board with the drivers, it's
surely
not that
this
heavy.
is just a visual glitch from our end.
It must be. The track is getting wet so
Owen's
fast.
round again. And get the. It
You're meant
looks
to be
full
good in the wet,
weight.
Owen. That's crazy.
They literally are unable to drive. That's how. Mitch is loving this on the soft tyres in the Mercedes.
Yeah, Mickelson's in as well, serving his 5-second penalty for speed.
Owen's round again.
On intermediates. Wow.
And DRS is gone already.
Jeez, that is so fast. We're literally, this is a lap since we first noticed drops, and we're already definitely intermediate. That's incredible.
It's
That's
quicker
nuts.
than Russia 2020. I mean, 21
Whoa,
even.
Ferdy nearly has a Lando moment. Speaking of Russia. He manages to keep it out of the wall in the second last corner and crawls his way into the pit lane.
I'm just wondering, where's Iron going to come out now?
He's got a lead, surely.
Well, that
Ferdy was tiptoeing around second.
Oh, that's all gone.
Taking
right
the rally cross line.
Well.
Yeah, Paul's taking the rally cross line through the second last corner. Almost puts it in the barrier trying to recover the car. And Iron's going to take a wide line through the final corner.
It's barely raining, though. I'm so confused.
I think Ferdy's going to stay in the lead, though. I think Ferdy's going to get out ahead.
Yeah.
But I think Iron's probably going to jump Johnny and stay in a net P2. Yeah.
Yeah, and
the tyres are pretty even on that last lap, then.
Yeah.
He's not really gaining anything.
Managed to undercut the AlphaTauri by 1.5 seconds around. As Owen's out the race, and that's in the pit lane.
Oh, so he's thrown in a towel. And this is towel weather, so.
I think it's a bit more than that.
Well,
according to what the track's saying, it still looks. It doesn't look like it should be Inters. I mean,
it's definitely a wet track, but yeah, it doesn't look that bad.
You know what?
Owen's AI is driving its way back out onto the track.
Why are we even questioning this, honestly, at this stage with the game?
Not have this on the next game, please. Thank you. Yeah. So this being our last race on F121 means it's the last time the AI is going to drive our guys to the grid. It's the last time they're not going to have. I'm not using the immersive word. Interactive pit stops. And hopefully it's the last time anybody retires in the pits and then the car just goes, yeah, I'm just going to drive out and park in turn 1. That's fine, right?
Yeah.
Or as happened in the ERO race, in the PS All-Stars race yesterday, I'm going to drive out and park on pit exit.
And then teleport onto the track. There was one who teleported onto the track as well in the PlayStation All-Star race.
If you spin in the pit lane at Brazil, which you can do in that first left-hander, it just teleports you to the middle of turn 1 and puts the car in neutral. It's like, cheers, game.
I find it slightly ironic that the driver who this season and last season has been known for his performance in the wet races decides to retire from the race the second we hit intermediate conditions.
Because it's raining, yes. Like, it's wet, I don't like it, I'm going to spin 4 times and retire.
Yeah.
Like, thought you meant to be good in the wet, Owen. He was earlier.
Yeah.
He's just forgotten. We had a period of sort of 10, maybe 15 laps where it was dry and no one forgot how to drive in the wet. Seemingly.
I like it.
As Iron's keeping this gap slightly, well, he's slightly reducing the gap actually up to 30 at the front. It's just about dipped under 2 seconds as they came into the chicane. Yeah, so he's taking about 3/10 out. So I think this is playing into the hands of the PCF1 guys a little bit more. Able to just have that little bit extra car control.
Yeah.
It's going to matter more in the rain.
And Iron's actually, he's not losing time to Ferdy, so that's interesting to see. However, Johnny, he has actually dropped a bit further back from Iron, so potentially struggling a bit more in these intermediate conditions as... It still looks like it's about to dry out.
Yeah, PCF1 guys in second, third and fourth. Ooh, not from this camera. The outside of the second last corner.
Okay.
The rain looks really heavy there.
I just swapped over and yeah, there's definitely a lot more rain. And I'm thinking it's just because of how light the sky is still. It hasn't gone like fully dark yet. There's clear coverage, but
yeah, I know we're racing in Hungary, but I'm not sure why we downloaded Silverstone weather. We'll have snow next.
I wouldn't be surprised. Bit of snow.
Or a thunderstorm safety car.
Yeah, I mean that would cause. They bring out a VSC normally when it's thunderstorm conditions. So.
We had a full safety car season 6 Suzuka in PC1.
Yeah.
We had a full safety car because the rain was that heavy you couldn't see. So I mean, it's possible we get one of those if it continues to get heavier, as Alfie picks up a 3-second time apparently. So we're down to 5 drivers without now, which is Maciej in the Red Bull, Mitch in the Mercedes, currently running 8th and 6th, and our top group with Johnny, Ian, and 3rd.
Mitch has actually managed to get a bit closer to Jordan here. And
yeah, within a second of the Ferrari.
It could be interesting to see what happens soon between them, but I think he'll still take him a few laps to get up to the back. But yeah, 2
of our PCF3 drivers. Jordan finished 2nd in the drivers, won the constructors, and Mitch won overtake of the season. So
yeah,
they've all got something in their locker, playing for a bit more pride here to end out this game cycle before we move into F1 22. And then we have entirely new cars to get the grips to it with, and I wonder if any of our drivers are going to try and simulate porpoising by bouncing down in their seat while they drive.
It definitely looks like the track's drying a little bit on in
no
certain parts. Like there seems like a slight dry line forming.
And the Inters are pretty good at clearing standing water.
Yeah, so
even
if this rain stays or rains,
the rain's heavy enough to undo all the hard work of the tyres.
Yeah, I don't think it is at the moment, but that definitely could change as. Well, we still got a long time left to go in this race with 38 laps, so. Yeah.
Yeah, Ian's definitely still closing in though on 30. 1.7 seconds now. And he's pulling away from Johnny as well, so really got the bit between his teeth in the Williams.
Yeah.
He's kind of wrestling the car a lot though as he's going round. But I think he's right on the edge. I think he's really pushing here.
I think this really shows the difference between what we had yesterday in the PlayStation All-Star race. Well, obviously we don't have Alpines on the grid, but yesterday it was all the F5 drivers who were mostly at the front. However, the PCF3 drivers here finding it a little more difficult. As Elliot's actually closed up to the back of Mitch here, so Mitch may have made a mistake as he was closing in on Jordan.
He's still not too far behind John. He's maybe lost about 7 or 8 tenths. I think Elliot's probably just lapping faster than both of them.
It's also funny to just see how much he gains in a straight in that Mercedes. He took about a 10.5, 8, and now on this one, it's literally the smallest straight ever, and he's taken another 10th. So,
good man.
Yeah, Ian's getting every single lap. It's just a slight bit closer here.
He seems to be gaining most of his time on the exit of turn 5, so I think it's just a case of being better with the traction.
Yeah,
he gains sort of almost like a quarter of a second on the exit of that corner alone. As the gap's now around about 1.5 seconds. So Ian's going to be hoping he keeps draining for a while.
As Ferdy picks up a penalty there. I saw him run wide, and he's also lost about half a second in the process. Now,
I think Ferdy knew the car was going, lifted off, but obviously not enough. If we had DRS, Ian would be right on the cusp of it.
Yeah, looking in the sort of helicopter camera, you can definitely see.
It looks heavier from the helicopter.
It looks heavier, however, the dry line looks like it's getting even drier. Which makes
if this race wasn't confusing enough as it was. Yeah, you can definitely see all offline there's just puddles everywhere, so overtaking can be a little treacherous in conditions like these. Oh, down the pit, right on viewing from the pit building with Elliot. The rain looks really bad. quite a interesting way to race, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be potentially dangerous for our drivers as well. On the exit of turn 3, there is a puddle right on the racing line where you just want to dip your right tyres before you flick back for turn 3.
Oh yeah, I've just seen that.
That's a really bad puddle place.
Yeah,
so
it could be
I'm
dangerous.
not going to be surprised if somebody catches a little bit too much of that and just can't quite flick the car around for turn 3.
Oh, Arjen nearly lost it there, but manages to catch it as that was close, and his teammate behind us almost done the same thing. I just saw in the background there as the conditions seem to be getting a bit more treacherous as the standing water is quite bad as they're actually coming into the pits here. So are they going for full wets
now?
I mean, the dry line still looks...
Yeah, the racing line doesn't seem too bad, but
pit lane isn't even
the
that
speed
bad.
the rain's coming out. As Johnny's carrying on to avoid that double stack. And Mitch is in as well, so from P6 in the Mercedes, so...
Maybe it's
yeah, we're on full wets.
Wet, but not for long, so I guess...
So 30 Arjen full wets, Mitch full wets, yeah, so... bit of a change in what some of the guys are doing. I think Johnny kind of forced to stay out.
Yeah. Interesting to see that Marek and Jordan decided to stay out as Ferdy on the wet tyres straight up the inside of Maciej here and manages to get the move done. And straight away at the pit lane, seems to have a lot more grip. As maybe it definitely is time as yeah on the onboard camera now. It's a lot wetter. It's definitely a lot heavier now. As the drivers on wets are slowly moving off the racing line here and there to go into a bit of the standing water just to make sure they don't essentially set the tyres on fire. As that dry line is starting to fade away now. However, there's no like standing puddles building on it just yet. However, it's clear to see it is a lot wetter now. Oh, Arden running into the back of Maciej there. And it's definitely time now as...
kind of forces Maciej into the puddles as well. So he's definitely going to have to get off those inters. He's staying on them though.
Everyone's staying out. This is really interesting to see the strategy.
So I think this is a it's a combination between minimizing pit stops and that time loss you get in the pits, and always being on the right tire at the right time.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to be too far removed from one of these guys on the inters binning it.
Ferdy's going up the inside of his teammate here. And a little bit of contact between them, but nothing that's going to hurt us.
Nothing you could do really.
Arjen's also got to get through this traffic as well, which isn't ideal for either of them, which is something they may not have expected. They may have thought others would also pit with them, but it doesn't seem like many people actually chose to pit here, which is an interesting strategy. And well, being stuck behind a car here in Sector 2 is horrible. As Arjen looks for a move and a bit of contact with Elliot's rear left tyre there.
He doesn't want to let 30 get away here.
And he's having to go off the track.
Off track.
I just don't think he's got the grip on the intermediate tyres for this not to essentially just look like it's going to end in carnage. As Ferdy's managed to get his way past Jordan. And Arjen's
going to get past Elliot, I think. He should be able to hang it around the outside here. He's just going to have so much more grip on the wets.
And
Elliot's going to fight this. He's not letting this go.
He's managed to get through here.
Have too much traction on exit.
Yeah, I think none of them are going to choose to pit now.
Well, I'm hoping it's going to dry out sooner rather than later.
Ferdy's now only a second behind Marek. However, the gap to Johnny is 8.5 seconds, which is quite a lot to make up. And it will need to stay wet for like another 3 or 4 laps, or in full wet conditions for 3 or 4 laps for him to be able to build that gap. As Marek had a prime opportunity for a switchback, but it's just too wet for the inters. As he has to take to the grass there, as Iron now looking for a move on Jordan Kent here, and manages to get the move done and goes up into 4th. As Mitch has also got past Alfie and picks up a 3-second time penalty in the process. And that's not going to help him, mate, and leaves only 3 drivers now without a penalty. So,
yeah, I think Massey's doing really well here. The only driver without a penalty that's not PCF1.
Yeah.
Just keeping it calm, keeping it cool.
Iron's looking to the inside of Marek. And just about gets the move done there. Now sits P3. And well, the gap to 30 before the pits was about a second and a half after Iron made the mistake. And it's now up to 3.1. So he's got a long way to close back to getting back the gap that it was before. However, we saw his space on the inters, and he definitely had a slight edge over 30. So it will be interested to see what happens as Elliott looking for a move here on Jordan. Runs a bit deep, which invites Jordan back. However, Elliott managing to just about keep it on the track and actually keeps ahead of the Ferrari for now, but Jordan's still right on his tail here and isn't going to give up fight in this one. As Elliott takes P5 for now, and AlphaTauri, another team having a great time here actually, is...
Yeah, our surviving PC2 drivers.
Yeah, it's quite ironic that all of the PC2 drivers have actually gone out first here, essentially, apart from Jose. But
yeah, and Ferdy's getting up on the back of Johnny now. So that 8-second gap that there was sort of 3 laps ago was already eroded.
Yeah. And well, I think Johnny's going to try his best here to keep the position. However, the rain is not letting off anytime soon, or it doesn't look like it's going to. As
30 pit for the wets, put the wets on lap 36.
3 laps
and
later.
he's already on the back of Johnny.
That's like 5 seconds a lap, based on what the gap was as well.
So I think Johnny here is kind of banking on the fact that it's going to dry out at some point, and Ferdy might want to go back on the inters. So he needs another pit stop worth of time out of this.
True,
just
Ferdy can't build...
Ferdy and Iron as well.
Let's say
Ferdy's going around the outside of turn 5.
It's about 18 seconds to pit lane here. Is it or is it?
Yeah, it's fairly short.
I was going to say, it's one of the shorter pit lanes for sure.
You don't lose too much time going around the inside of the final corner. You can't carry quite as much speed, but it's a shorter distance.
I'm just checking the fuel situation, and well, Iron's back on target here, but Johnny isn't yet. So
he went -7, so he probably needs another safety car, and he nearly causes one, which would help the fuel situation.
Yeah,
but Iron's now on the back of him as well, so yeah, he's lost a full pit stop in the space of about 4 laps.
Mitch is also flying on these wets, and he's got back up to the people he was fighting and is now looking to make a move on Jordan, as I don't think Johnny's going to fight Iron too hard here, as Iron takes back second.
Yeah, so much more traction, he just drove around the outside.
And Mitch here also trying to drive around the outside, which is going to swap to the inside for him now, as he moves up into 6th place. And now has Elliott 3 seconds up the road from him. However, that could close quite quickly.
Iron last time around with a 32.8, Johnny with a 37.7. So he's losing 5 seconds a lap trying to keep those inters going.
That is...
So he really needs it to dry out kind of now.
Yeah.
For these guys to go back on the intermediates. Otherwise, he's going to lose another pit stop very quickly.
He doesn't seem to be losing as much time as he was, but
he's lost 2.5 seconds in the first sector.
Oh yeah, I forgot you made the move at the last one. I thought it was at that. I genuinely thought it was this. I thought that had been a lap. Never mind.
Alfie gets another 3 seconds as well.
And yeah, 11 drivers running here, and to be fair, I just realised with Jacob pitting, he's now managed to get onto the back of Paul. So he's actually managing to bring himself back into the race here.
These wets are pretty nuts. It's definitely
Yeah.
full wet right now. These wets are doing a job.
I think he definitely needs it to stay full wet for a while though, if he wants to bring himself back into this even more as well. If he pits, all of the time he's gained is gone again.
Full wets being the right tire is very rare for real life 1. I wonder if they'd have red flagged this if it was real life. Wouldn't surprise me after the debacle at Monaco this season.
And well, one lap later from where he overtook Jordan, Mitch is now on the back of Elliott and going for 5th. And Mickelson picks up another 3-second time penalty, fighting goal. What's happened there between Elliott and Mitch? And Elliott's gone round.
Mitch was going for the line down the side of the pit wall, and it was closing all the time, and he chose not to back out.
That's a safety car.
Contact with Elliott, who's lost the bandage from in the middle of the pit strip, and that's going to cause that safety car. As Paul's going to come in, so I wonder if this is going to be full wets or maybe another set of inters. Hoping for it to dry out a little.
Yeah, I think Arjen will be happy with this as well. It allows him back up to catch back up to 30.
Yeah, but I think this benefits the intermediate guys more.
It depends.
They
yeah,
either get a free pit stop. I mean, there's a 15-second gap behind Johnny down to Marek, so Johnny could put some wets on and put himself on the same strategy as Ferdy and Arjen.
Yeah.
Or it closes his gap up, and if the rain is going to start easing off, it's going to make it easier for him to live within a pit stop window.
Yeah.
As a safety car's parked on the outside of turn 2, which doesn't sound like the best place to put it.
Yeah, the front runners are staying out here. Well, actually, no, they're not. Arjen's in.
Yeah, so 30 stays out, but Arjen's going to pit. I think there's a big enough gap for Johnny to pit as well if he wants to, but he chooses not to.
Interesting.
So that's going to jump Johnny up to P2 and give him the run at 30.
So are you going to go back to Inters here? Is what I'm thinking.
See what the Williams boys are holding. Yeah, they look like intermediates to me. They're definitely green.
Interesting to see that is, as
so
Mitch stays out on the full wets here.
You saw how slow Johnny was on those inters, so bit of a gamble possibly for Arjen. As
is Jordan going for wets?
Maybe.
This could be completely contrasting strategies here, which is interesting. Yeah, they look like wets from here. I know they're not, they're more inters.
They're more inters.
Ah, so he's just getting a fresh set.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a terrible idea on the safety car. There's a reasonable amount of field spread, so you're not going to lose more than maybe a place or two. And in exchange for 12 lap fresher tyres, that's not a bad idea. So yeah, Elliott's getting some inters on as well. And that new front wing, which is kind of going to hold him in the pits. But he should be able to stay ahead of Mickelson in P9. And I think Paul's going to be our final run at the moment. Yeah, he's not quite close enough in the Ferrari to jump Jacob.
Marek taking out one of the braking boards there.
Well, we'll have to hope everybody uses the racing line and isn't relying on them to find out where turn 1 is.
Oh no, Marek himself doesn't use the line, so if anything, he's only sabotaging himself there. Now the guys at the front have caught the safety car and the Delta has closed. Mitch has taken like 2 seconds out of Marek as that's...
Jacob's binned it on the exit turn 4 under safety car. So he's had a bit of a George Russell moment.
I don't know.
And he's lost the car completely there. Right on board with Paul and just take a look. Yeah, I think he maybe just took a little too much curb on the exit of 4 and it's just speared him off the track and into the wall.
Well, he's
continuing his tradition. That's going to be kind of 42 laps wasted. Yeah, he wasn't going to get on the podium, so the wall is the best place for him in Jacob's head. But you finish, you get, well, I'd say points. We're not really doing points, it's a one-off thing. But
Elliott's gone as well.
Wow.
Under a safety
So,
car.
Maybe we're definitely full wets at this point then if people are
Paul's
losing it on the
struggling
under safety
bad. Oh, and Paul's also lost an end plate, I've just realised.
So he's had a moment as well.
I think. Yeah, it looks like he has.
So all of he has on the left-hand side of his car. So all of our 3 guys at the back have had a bit of a moment on the safety car. 2 terminal and 1 not so bad.
Maybe it's still full wet here, which could really help Ferdy and Mitch, but Mitch has to get through 3 cars.
Yeah, but he's in a Mercedes. So we're going to have a PC3 driver on the right tyres in a Mercedes against 3 PC1 drivers on the wrong tyres in an Alfa Romeo and 2 Williams. This is going to be the first and last time these guys race each other this season. And, well, definitely the first and last time the PC3 driver's probably going to win.
Well, you never know. As the safety car isn't able to come in this lap, I mean, it'll force itself in at the end of next lap and just leave
Paul pit, but he's put more inters on, but he's got a new front wing for his Ferrari.
Yeah, I think the safety car's probably just going to leave him here. Well, after about 3 or 4 laps,
the helicopter camera on the second last corner, the rain's eased off massively.
Yeah.
What is going on?
We're going to be on.
What even is this?
It's going to be drive by the time. Safety cars in it.
By the time the safety car comes in, yeah. we're gonna have a Hungary 2021 moment. They're all gonna dive in, apart from Ferdy.
Imagine that, like when the safety car comes in, the safety car's trying to come in, they all just follow it in. No one stays in.
That would be a bit crazy. But it really sucked for Iron.
Yeah. I think Ferdy would love that at this rate. Especially considering the fact that this is starting to look more like Inters. Luckily this time
Ferdy might begin within the next couple of laps at this point.
Paul's got a front wing this time round, so that's good improvement from him.
Closing up on the safety car reasonably well, but I'm not sure if he's going to get there.
Yeah.
By the time we have the restart.
Maybe the safety car
only
can
a
stay
short
out.
train.
Maybe the safety car can force itself to stay out longer in a 100%. I don't know. Is that how it works? Longer race, longer safety car.
So.
I don't know. Well,
I know. Through the Michael Massey era, a safety car rarely lasted less than 6 or 7 laps, but the game's not programmed for that.
Not realistic enough.
Immersion.
I've got no immersion. Not happy.
Well, if you've got no immersion in the racing, we'll just immerse you in one of the puddles. It's fine.
No, the safety car's not going in. So, my, Iron. Interesting.
Oh wow, it's staying out. That's weird.
Heat into his tyres, yeah. I can just tell you, the sun's coming through the clouds.
Of course it is.
It's still
That's
absolutely
the only thing. That's the only thing that would make sense so far in this race.
Just saying, it's definitely getting brighter.
The Ministry of Weather's definitely just rolling a dice at this point.
Yeah, pretty much.
So what are we having for the next 10 laps?
It's like they've got like a switch.
It's a heat wave, right?
We're just gonna invent a new compounder tyre. All of a sudden, we're in a sandstorm.
No tyres, yeah. They all pit and just have to put chains on the full wets.
Just attach some chains. There'll be a long pit stop.
I mean, knowing F1 teams and knowing how they do their pit stops, they've probably got like ready to go chains and some sort of gun that attaches them really quickly, and it'll be like a 5-second stop. Some level of F1 magic.
So, does the weather want to change again, or are we staying?
Maybe it's going to go full dry, and then as soon as everyone puts slicks on, it's going to start tipping it down again.
I wouldn't be surprised. I actually
the weather's just trolling. It's just trolling our drivers at this point. It's like, it's dry, only kidding. It's wet, only kidding.
It was wet for like 7 laps, 8 laps. It was full wet conditions.
Yeah, not long. 30 pit on lap 36, so it's been 9 laps, but half of those have been under safety car.
And I'd say about 2 of them under safety car. Definitely intermediate conditions now. This is not full wet.
Yeah, Johnny seems perfectly happy.
Is the safety car going to come in this lap?
Whoa! Just see, I really need to stop talking about people.
It's in.
Just as I said, Johnny looks perfectly happy. He went for a trip completely over the curb and half on the grass.
Is Paul going to catch? It's going to be just
I
about
think
able
he is.
to.
His tyres are going to be warm as well.
He's going to be loving
we
that.
might see a bit of a Paul torpedo here, cutting through the field as his tyres are going to be nice and toasty, and everyone else is going to be freezing.
He also can't accelerate. The game's just telling him no. It's a safety car making its way into the pits. And
on the back of the queue, as Ferdy's going to do another restart here, but he is on those full wet tyres, and we're pretty sure it's not full wets anymore.
well, we'll find out shortly as we're back underway. As Marek going straight towards the grass there. As Johnny close to the back of Ferdy here. Not going to send much of a dive. However, yeah, those wets are...
One place already on those very warm tyres that he's got. And yeah, Mitch has already dropped to second to this leading group.
And Paul's now looking around the outside of Alfie. And he's going to manage to get the move done just about there.
Jesus.
As the front runners, Johnny and Arjen are right on the back of Ferdy here. So it's definitely time for Inters as Ferdy's ran wide. And that's going to allow the Williams to both have an attack here. Well. He's got a bit wide and he's hit the back of Johnny, and that's him round. As Mitch has to cut the chicane there.
I think he just lost the rear of the car.
There was a little bit. I watched it. Yeah, I was on board.
Yeah. I was looking at the chicane camera. Didn't seem to be any, but fair enough. Yeah, so now we're going to have a Williams 1-2.
We've got a Mercedes, that's a tractor. As Mitch is now just getting eaten alive by literally everyone.
Gets a big moment on the way into... Paul's fifth.
Paul's already fifth.
What even is this?
He was barely going to catch the safety car, and now he's already fifth, and now he's on the back of Massey Edge. Paul's just on a charge to win the race now.
Mitch is staying out though on those wet tyres. Ferdy is coming in. Ferdy's going to pit for some Inters.
I don't think it's worth it, honestly. It looks like he could be dry any second there.
Oh, well, if you go on board with Ferdy driving into the pit lane, you can see the sun coming through. But it is still raining. No. So, it's British weather. We've just downloaded British weather.
I know
he's launching it down and sunny.
We've now got a fight between Arjen and Johnny. And with Marek closing in as well. We've got a whole PC1 podium. And these were the guys who were complaining. Yeah. They were complaining, and now look at them.
I think what might happen is the cars might be too fast, and we need to nerf them.
I think they should. Can we just make like 3 or 4 cars a Haas?
Right. Just like now, yeah, we just teleport Johnny and Arjen into Haas's.
Yeah, the full PC1 podium is not what we were expecting from this, I don't think.
But I mean, there's a 3-second gap behind to Massey, but Paul's pretty much right in the back of him now.
Yeah.
He sort of lost a lot of the advantage he had from those tyres being warm, with him getting, a racing lap and a half on them, as opposed to trailing around behind the safety car at 70 mile an hour.
Yeah, Paul's looking very quick as well as having the heated tyres. He's just in general looking very quick as the rain stopped.
Are you serious?
Yes, I am. Look in any camera, there's no rain.
So, slick
before it's perfectly clear skies in like 4 laps.
100%, 100%.
No in this race. No in this
100% races, let's go. This is why we don't do them every week.
Massey Edge is now closing to the back of Marek a little bit here. He's taken 8 temps now out of...
Yeah, Marek's lost a decent little chunk of time to the Williams boys up front.
Arjen's really pressuring Johnny here with the fact that I think the fresh Inters, especially with a track going dry, is helping him out a lot, but it's just not really, he's just not really opening up enough opportunities to get a move done, which, I mean...
I think he's kind of happy to sit here for a while.
Yeah.
Maybe make a strategy call and jump in a lap early.
I think he might do it this lap,
When it does go dry. I think it's too early. Maybe a lap or two too early.
I mean, you're saying that. Think about what's happened this race.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I mean, this is about as wet as it was when they all went and put wets on, so.
True. And Johnny's in. Oh, no, he's not. He's
Oh,
faked it.
fakes
Iron's
so
going in,
Iron's
though.
going.
Ooh.
Oh, nearly Luke misses the pit lane.
Oh, Marek goes in as well.
He nearly did a Kimi Nürburgring and missed the pit lane.
Mitch is still
So
on
I think
those
Johnny
wet
wanted
tyres.
to pit. Yeah, I think Johnny wanted to pit but didn't. And he's got a red light on, so I think this is just Jeff yelling at him to pit.
Yeah.
But still no DRS, so it might not be the worst thing in the world to have to do one more lap on these inters. As yeah, Iron and Marek on the soft tyres.
So they're going to be
So they'll be looking
going...
to go to the end. Mitch is in off the wets as well. So
I wouldn't say they're looking to go to the end just yet. Not in this race. Well, they'll be trying.
Marek leaving the pit lane had about four-wheel drifts. So it
Mitch
may
has got
be.
mediums.
So I think it is a lap or two too wet. Oh, Mitch is going to have some real trouble with those. It's just going to be impossible to get heat in them. As Ferdy's in from the back as well. So I think we'll be watching these guys very carefully to see what sort of times they're doing. If they're going to start gaining on the guys in front. It's about 14 seconds between Jordan and Iron at the moment. As that is going to give us a PC1 leader and 2 PC3 drivers on the podium now.
That changed very quickly.
Yeah, it's just PC2 being crap. Although there's only 30 left, so
yeah,
I think we can.
30's the only one, and he led most of this race and is now dead last. Just the way this race has changed. Massey Edge, Johnny, Paul, yeah, they're all coming in there. Is anyone going to stay out? Jordan Kent staying out.
Jordan, yeah, he would have had to double stack to the tune of about a second behind Paul. So as Ferdy gets another one, this is going to put Jordan in the lead in the Ferrari.
And DRS has been enabled.
Ooh, so
watching on board with Iron now to see how
guys.
this is.
Johnny's going to have a big lead.
Him as Iron picks up a penalty, and that leaves just 2 drivers, Massey Edge and Johnny.
Johnny's got a huge lead.
Iron's now actually behind Massey Edge.
Yeah, but he's on soft tyres and Massey's on the mediums, so
yeah.
I'm not sure he's going to be able to hold this
position. And also
those
mediums are going to be freezing cold, coming out the pit lane, and straight on the attack is Arjun. And he's taking the inside.
Massey's fighting this though.
And he manages to get the move
quite
down,
have the traction on those cold medium tyres. Doesn't quite have the traction to get around there.
Alfie picks up a 3-second penalty. Honestly, I think he's probably close to disqualification at this point.
He's only on 9.
Actually. Oh, is he?
Doing pretty well. Yeah. Better than Dino's practice, where he said he got to 27 seconds. Somehow.
There's still 20 laps left.
Yes, there is still time. You are much more likely to get time penalties in the dry than in the wet.
And the wet, if you go off track, then you're just losing time guaranteed anyway, so...
Johnny's only 7 seconds behind Jordan.
Yeah,
so it's immediately gone to definitely slicks.
Nice. I said it'd be clear skies by lap 52. We've got 2 laps left. I wouldn't be surprised.
It's too early.
God, 2 more laps to go completely clear skies.
2 more laps
on lap 52, it's gonna happen.
So now we've got this Williams 1-2 back in place.
And then Massey's
under pressure from Paul Hill.
Oh yeah, I've just seen that.
The Ferrari's absolutely around the outside in turn 1. And gets the DRS on the run down to turn 2, and that's going to make that move and put him up into P3.
Yeah.
But within a second behind him is Marek hunting in the Alfa Romeo. So whether he's got enough pace to make up the differential between the cars, I'm not so sure. And Paul's only 2 seconds behind Iron, who is now 3.5 back from Johnny. So I think Johnny went on the right lap. I think he definitely faked Iron in.
Marek's really pressuring Massey Edge here, who's already dropped a second back from Paul. And yeah, the Alfa Romeo really looking to...
Those mediums are going to come into play at the in the last few laps of the race, though. These softs are going to struggle a little bit to get just over 20 laps.
As he looked at a dive there, but doesn't quite commit to it, which probably a smart idea. You've still got 20 laps as always made contact with the back of Massey Edge, and that nearly ended badly, and he's off to the pits because he's got damage. And
Just,
Iron sets the fastest lap as Paul actually
in the
beats that.
19s with Iron and Paul. In the 19s now, so Paul's coming at some speed here. And
Paul's got something
that's
to
going to
say
put
at the end of
Alfie
this
ahead
race.
of Marek and John as well. So Marek's going to go on some more softs, I think? No, on to mediums, so didn't have fresh enough softs because he gets that new front wing as well. But he should be able to get out ahead of Mitch and maintain P7.
Alright. He comes to the end of lap.
On the soft tyres.
We're about halfway through lap
behind
52 and it's not clear skies like I said yet, so maybe more
We
rain.
still got half a lap. I mean, knowing this race, it could be sunny or snowing.
Yeah, I mean, it went from dry to inters in half a lap. Around like lap 30 or something, so...
Then inters to dry in half a lap.
Yeah.
As I think I just saw a beam of sun.
Oh, my, it literally has. Yep. It's done it. Right at the end of lap 52. I've caught two things now. The second I've caught the rain and I've caught the sun coming out perfectly this race. I don't know how I've done that.
You should have been racing. You'd have had the strategy bang on.
Maybe look how bright it is
down the pit straight. Look how bright it is down the pit straight.
I am literally the weatherman for this race now, clearly.
What even is this? As Paul's still putting in fastest laps, 18.4 now. And he's within the DRS of Iron. He's flying in that Ferrari.
And it's literally, it looks like it's never rained. Rain? Never
absolutely ridiculous. I've never seen weather like this on the F1 game.
Unbelievable, this is. What a way to send the game off. This is just what happens when you stick 100% races on, clearly. Everything goes a bit
next season, 100%
mental.
every week. Let's go.
Yep.
As Marek's going to pull in the pits and retire from the race, unfortunately. So that's going to leave us with 2 PC1 drivers, 1 PC2 driver, and most of PC3.
I mean, you can get Alfie's PC2 driver.
I mean, he's in as a PC3 driver with him being on that wheel.
He's done very well, to be fair.
Yeah, he's binned it significantly less than I expected. As Paul's going to be pressuring Iron here. There's not too much you can do through this midpoint of the...
and Iron's actually letting him go. And that's tactical for the DRS here, yeah. Oh, Mitch has rained. I thought I was Alfie then, I was going to say, I swear if I've cursed him.
Yeah, but Marek's AI has decided to pull out and park it on the exit of turn 2, but thankfully his car has been removed by invisible kaijus. So it won't cause any yellow flags as Paul and Iron arrive. Paul's got just enough straight line speed to maintain P2, and he might drive away from Iron a little bit here through the middle sector.
We restarted this lap this race 10 laps ago, and Mitch is already about a set. Yeah, we had drivers on wets. Mitch was in 5th. He's now about a sector away from getting lapped, depending on when you take that measurement.
Standard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's race. It's like it could have done anything else other than what it has done, and it would have been more reasonable. It's been I couldn't have thought of like crazy.
Paul's picked up another penalty.
And just a crazier race overall.
Yeah.
The fact we still got half the grid alive is testament to how good these guys are, I think.
Definitely picked most of the right people from the All-Star, considering we had a few people who we would have been interested to see how they would have done here, and I bet people who dropped out were wishing they actually could have raced this. Because this has been absolutely manic.
Yeah, although I understand why one of our special guests was scared of our leader.
Yeah.
As he's maintaining a decent gap to Paul.
Yeah, Johnny literally challenged Drake. Drake got scared of him, and it makes sense. Johnny's winning the race. So.
And Iron dropped off the back of Paul, and Paul's not really gaining in too much on Johnny, so Johnny's got really good pace here at the moment.
Alfie's also caught right onto the back of Massey Edge here. You sure he hasn't just got his controller out mid-race?
Probably.
No, his wheel's definitely, he's definitely on a wheel from his movement, so... Doing 100% races all of a sudden turned him into exactly where he was before.
Yeah, as a pad man, that's far too smooth.
Yeah. I don't know,
There's no rapid corrections.
Oh, no!
Oh!
Oh,
Just
no!
as we were on board with Alfie. Massey loses it in turn 9 and Alfie collects him.
Oh, my.
That's going to drop them both behind Jordan, so that's going to put the Ferrari
Alfie's
ahead of the
probably
Red
also
Bulls.
got some serious rear wing damage. This is definitely a piece of his rear wing left there, you can see.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
Yeah,
that. Oh, no.
Attached. And Alfie's off to the pit lane, and yeah, he's missing an end plate as well.
Quite heavy contact with the stricken Red Bull, and
Massey doesn't have to pit.
Fairly heavy contact with the wall as well, as Alfie's got a 5-second penalty. Yeah, Massey's going to carry on. So this is twice now he's killed people into pitting, and they just carried on. Well, that Red Bull's made of Kevlar.
Well,
but,
it's like everything's fallen into place perfectly for when I'm swapping over on the stream here as well. Like, as soon as I say something, I swap over, it happens. I'm literally calling
Johnny's
this
lost a second to Paul. Paul's not far out of the DRS now. Although Johnny has a hell of a lot of battery left, so he's kind of chilling on that one a little bit. Paul's down below 40%, Johnny's around 70%.
Paul is, within a second, so... If he does get past, he has got like 6 or 9 seconds of penalties, I don't know. Oh, that's a yellow flag, and that's 38 the session.
Oh, so we're out with PC2 drivers.
And that's a safety car.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, there's a... Okay, so how has he managed that? There's a tyre on the inside, on the inside of turn 5, and then his car's just parked on the track on the outside of turn 5.
Hey, that's happened.
So I'm not entirely sure how he's managed that. He's hit that wall at about 7,000 miles an hour.
That's literally come out perfectly to just... Everyone's been collected by the safety car, so they can't get fresh tyres, but Jordan's now going in for fresh softs. And by the time he gets there and catches up, he could be in the lead.
He's going to have no delta.
Yeah.
So we can put these soft tyres on and just floor it as Massey continues on his 6-lap medium. So he's going to be a little bit of a sitting duck. But it's not necessarily the worst thing to do. Just wait for everyone to kill themselves in front of you and then take the win. Ian, Paul, and Johnny have been collected by Burt Maylander. And, they're going to have a chance to pit here, but Jordan's definitely going to jump them. And maybe Alfie as well. We had late safety car drama in the PS race yesterday. And we're getting it again.
Yeah, and that's the final safety car being used now. That's all 4 of them gone. And to be fair, we've had them fairly split as well, so...
Yeah, I mean, it's taken lap 57 to have 4 safety cars, which is significantly better than we normally get, where we have them all by about lap 12.
And that's in a 50% race.
Yeah.
And it's still on reduced safety car.
It is. Well, I put it on reduced because I'm not stupid.
A very good effort here.
Help.
A very good effort here from everyone to at least make it this far without using them all. With the conditions we've had. As well as... Oh, Paul's had to go in because he would have crossed the white line, and Paul's been faked into going in there.
Yeah, Johnny and Ian carrying on though.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Massey, Johnny's mediums is also continuing, and now Paul's here. Not Paul, Jordan.
Yeah.
I get
John's going to jump Paul to the lead Ferrari. And Paul might get jumped by Alfie here.
He actually might, yeah.
Going to go at Delta down the pit lane. And the Ferrari carried fairly early, so he's going to lose the place to Alfie as well. So we can put Paul back down to P6.
I'm just
saying,
saying,
a really, really good restart on the last one.
For all the carnage we've had, how have we still got a full team of Mercedes, a full team of Ferraris, and a full team of Williams?
And a Red Bull. Like, it's all the usual suspects turning up at the front and Williams.
Yeah. Just saying, they made a nice pattern with the way the drivers retired. We got Alfa Tauri from her, Alfa Tauri for Romeo.
Aston Martin, McLaren, Aston Martin.
Yeah. And then... No, we just need Massey to win the race and be at the top, and then that completes the whole sandwich of a Red Bull.
It'll be the next retirement and just end Williams together, Ferrari together, Mercedes together.
I wouldn't be surprised.
It'd be interesting to see what Johnny does off this restart, though. I think, and how much Ian chooses to attack. I think Massey's going to be a decent little buffer for them, being on those medium tyres. Though he is in a much, much quicker Red Bull.
I genuinely think half the drivers in this race have been in every single position in the top 10 at some point.
Probably.
Like, I can't. I don't think words can exactly describe what has happened here.
It's more a feeling of chaos.
Yeah.
Anybody that's studied chaos theory in the chat?
Well, when we restart, we're gonna have about 10 or 11 laps of. I don't even know what to describe it as. You've got all the faster cars behind, and you've got 2 Williams at the front. That's just a recipe for
disaster.
Yeah.
Carnage.
Disaster, carnage, all of the above, everything.
Inspired strategy calls.
More rain.
Sure, why not?
I mean, it's clear skies. Think about it last time. It took a lap and a half to go from completely clear to... There's literally not even a cloud anymore. It's, like, barely. What a race. And there's still 10 laps, and we have no clue who's going to win.
Yeah, literally anybody on this grid could win this race.
If anything, no one could finish as well. That's a
that is
possibility at this rate.
We only need one death every 3 laps. One death every 3 laps. It's on.
Yeah. Alright, who's first? Come on.
Maylander wins.
Well, actually, there's only 11 laps, not 21.
Oh yeah, there is. I have an A level in maths. Yay.
By the time safety car goes, an average ball.
I think it's scrambled my brain this race.
It's done a bit more than that.
What the? It's been absolutely chaos.
And here we got a safety car in.
So we are going to have 11 racing laps.
Alright, so when's the rain coming? Come on. Imagine,
still
turns from sunny to into conditions on like lap 68 or something.
I imagine. It just goes immediately to full wets.
I mean, it basically did that last time. Clearly Hungary's got stranger weather than England.
Clearly Hungary is bipolar. You can't decide if it's going to be dry or wet at any given moment. And it doesn't care what was happening the lap before.
As
Johnny goes on the
halfway through the last corner, yeah. And
decent restart. Iron's kind of coming with him. Massey's dropped off a little bit though, and is going to come under pressure from the Ferrari behind of Jordan Kent. But he's just about got enough straight line speed to hold the position into turn 1. John's going to be almost pushing him down to turn 2.
And he's just going to be a bit too far behind as the Red Bull managed to get good traction off the corner, but those mediums are absolutely just not
for the
good.
first 3 or 4 laps, he's going to be an absolute sitting duck. They're 1 medium tyres against brand new softs all behind him. So he just needs to hold this position while
against the guys in
edge
front
goes off those softs.
Oh, that's Paul nearly gone. This is just an absolute train now. Everyone wants to get past Massey Edge. And this could end interestingly with them all trying to get past at the same time.
Yeah, he's in Max's car, not Sergio's, so he's not on the Ministry of Defence at the moment. But he's definitely trying to channel his inner Mexican. As Alfie runs wide through turn 9, but manages to keep the position from Paul Hill by...
Oh, that's Alfie gone.
John at the back, and the car's alive.
How?
There's just no front wing. So he's going to have to pit, and that is definitely going to have him last unless anybody else has a disaster. As Johnny's managed to pull a second out of Iron at the front. And they've both pulled 2 seconds on Massey in that Red Bull behind them. The Williams boys are going to move on here. They don't want these quick guys in the on the fresh tyres to get past the Red Bull and close in on them.
And Johnny's actually almost pulled a whole second to Iron.
Yeah, he's flying out front. And he's got more battery left as well, so he's really just hooked the car up off that restart. And he's kind of gone.
And Alfie's retired in the pits.
Boo. Leaves us with 6 and ruins our pattern. Thanks, Alfie.
Oh,
and Mitch gets a 3-second time penalty. Takes too much curb on the inside of turn 4. So that's going to be a warning there.
Oh, he's going to be next to go.
Massey
Paul's got a bit white there.
Massey could definitely get P3 here if he can just hold on to these front 2 a little bit more. Their soft tyres are going to start to fall off the cliff. fairly shortly. And those mediums aren't going to lose any performance before the end of the race. So if he can hold position, and I mean, even if he loses
he's actually taken 2 attempts at the guys in front.
Behind.
So the gap was about 2.3, 2.4. Now it's only 1.9.
Yeah, the thing, if Matty gets in DRS range here, he's going to be able to close upon the Williams boys. He's going to bring these quick guys behind him with him. 2 Ferraris and the Mercedes of Jordan, Paul, and Mitch. And that's going to spice everything up for the last few laps if we end up with a 6-car train.
I guess it's now 1.5. It's 1.4 now. Oh no.
On warm tyres.
That gap's only 1.4
PC driver in a quick car on mediums that aren't going to fall off. And then some pretty quickly around here dying off Ferraris and the Mercedes PC3 drivers on the softs. Yeah. This could get very spicy the last couple of laps.
Yeah,
and I think Johnny and Massey will be kind of happy with that as the guys with no penalties.
Yeah.
As long as Johnny keeps Massey around him and stays within a DRS train, he kind of wins the race.
Yeah, this train here, Mitch is actually dropping off the
might be tricky the last couple of laps. Yeah, Mitch has dropped out of DRS.
Needs to get back in before the end of the lap.
Bit of a major moment through the middle of Sector 2, but he somehow gained time with it. But he's not quite close enough to get into the DRS range. Although he closed up there, Paul had to go a little bit compromised through the entrance into Sector 3. But Mitch has just lost some time.
I think he just
grabbed it. Just grabbed it. So that's going to keep Mitch attached to the back of these guys. And Massey's now within a second of Iron. But he doesn't have the DRS.
And then Kent's going to go for a move on the inside. Or is he? No, he's slightly back.
Massey's smart through it. Leaves him space on the inside, but not enough.
And now Hill's having a look. And he's going to go to the inside. He's gone very deep there. He might actually keep this. He's going to have the inside line, and he has managed to keep that. However, Kent's going to continue to try and fight it back, but yeah, don't go side by side into that corner.
Do it. Do it. There's only 7 laps left. Do it.
Massage is now only 7 tenths behind Iron. Johnny's got a 1.7 lead.
Yeah, the 2 Williams guys at the front on exactly the same battery. Massey spent quite a lot of it, but he's got in the DRS range, and by having that, it's going to protect him from the guys behind. And Iron's tyres might fall off quite a lot.
Just imagine Johnny Binder right now. We have these 5.
Oh, Jesus. Paul's going to have a look at Massey into Sector 3, but doesn't quite get close enough to go for a move.
Oh, Mitch
picks up 3 more seconds at the back. I say at the back, he's like 3 seconds off the lead at this point.
Yeah. Paul had a think.
And yeah, so Massey's going to have the DRS here in the Red Bull, so it's going to protect him from the Ferraris behind. And he might just get a run at Iron. He got such a better exit out of the final corner. Iron's deploying the ERS just to stay ahead. As Massey gets really close to the back and runs slightly deep, going through turn 1, slightly wide, but he's going to just about the plate, I think, over Paul. He's not crazy enough to go for that move twice, I don't think, the Ferrari driver. But makes a little bit of contact with the rear end of Massey through the middle of the corner. So much more traction on those softs. Not able to get a place, and I hope he didn't get damage from that, because that's going to really hamper him as Jordan picks up 3 more seconds. Johnny's gone in front.
Paul's looking for a move on the outside into the chicane.
Whoa, and has to cut the corner. That's going to possibly lose him a place to Jordan as well.
But Jordan was under attack from Mitch there as well. As Mitch just goes completely off track.
That's Mitch's new line around that corner, I think. He's figured out the game doesn't ping you for it, and he's just like, yeah, fuck it, send it.
He's potentially looking for a move on Jordan. Doesn't go for it.
Jordan and Mitch have spent all of their battery doing this. So they're both kind of running off fumes. Paul and Massey on around 30%. Iron's on about 60, but Johnny at the front. He's now 2.5 seconds clear. He's found another half a second in that lap, and he's still got more battery than anybody else. As we've got drag racing down the straight between.
As Mitch going to go for a move on Jordan, and oh my, he's absolutely sent that, and
it breaks later, but later than the car will do. So doesn't manage to get the plays and has to drop back in behind into P6. As now, look how close Massey's got to Iron now.
Yeah. If he gets past, I wonder how quickly he can close the gap to Johnny.
I don't think he's closing on Johnny. I think Iron's just dropping off. But Massey with no penalties is going to be able to take P2 if he can stay here or overtake Iron.
Yeah.
I wonder if Iron's kind of doing this on purpose and just trying to back everyone up to protect Johnny a bit, knowing he's got penalties himself and there's not a right lot he could do.
I mean, Massey at the moment is a bit closer this lap, and definitely will be after gaining another half a tenth through there. And he's right on the back of the Williams now, so you think maybe at the end of this lap he's going to get it, as Mitch is just getting loads of penalties as his contact, and that's going to be
Paul went on the inside for a slightly brain dead move.
And now Jordan's
but a contact
into the pits.
Kicked Massey out, and he can Jordan.
And now we've only got 5 drivers left.
Massey's now basically dead. So this is going to, more or less, unless something crazy happens, well, something else crazy happens, is going to guarantee a Williams 1-2. Iron's got 3 seconds of penalties, but the guys behind have got 6, 12, and 11. So Paul's going to have to jump Iron and get the 3 seconds.
Hello, that was close. Oh, Paul nearly took another victim and went straight to Akavalian, who was very slow off the corner exit there. That was close as Paul. Oh my.
Trying to dance it around the outside of turn 4, that's very rarely going to work.
It's taken a leaf out of Mitch's book. And, well.
Drone camera for the chicane, that's nice.
I didn't have that.
Wow,
Okay. I think Johnny's got this one. As long as he doesn't drive into a wall, he's fine now. Yeah, it's the only person with penalties is out the race.
Johnny's halfway to Spa at this point.
Yeah.
Forget about the mid-season break, he's already going to Spa. He's 3.5 seconds clear at the front. Iron's deployed a little bit of battery and he's managed to just about get Paul out of his DRS. So that should protect the Williams driver for this lap at least. But Mitch is now closing in on Paul pretty quickly, and he's right on the edge of his DRS as well. So if Paul doesn't gain a bit more time and get up on Iron, he might come under attack from Mitch behind for that final podium position.
Would be interesting as, well, I think everyone's going to try and fight it out on track here, definitely. I mean, as much as this race will be won on penalties, definitely, well, I say it's going to be won on penalties, not because Johnny hasn't got any, but it was just the podium is going to be decided by it, essentially.
Johnny does have 2 warnings, though.
Ooh.
1, 3, 4. Iron's got 5, so Iron might pick up another penalty.
I think Hill's got damage here. He's really struggling.
And Paul's got 8. So Paul can't afford, so none of these front 3 can afford another warning. As Paul probably has a little bit of front wing damage somewhere, I think, from the contact with Massey. Yeah. I think it's invisible damage though, because the front wing seems to be intact, but it's obviously not doing what it's meant to do. Because he's lost about 8 tenths to both Iron and Mitch in this lap.
Mitch is really on the back of it.
This should be a pretty easy move for Mitch for this final podium position.
Well, we get to see the pair of that Mercedes as well. And he's turned the battery off halfway down. And actually breaks very early as Paul's turned in on him there. And
as you do.
Yeah. Nice bit of space there. As Mitch is now looking to send it. I'm honestly surprised he didn't just absolutely batter him off track. He's going for it now. They're going to go side by side up into this corner. Neither of them are looking to back out. And
Paul backs off. Paul backs off.
Second, he's not stupid. Mitch was committed fully then.
Mitch has a hell of a lot of penalties though, so I think this is going to give Paul that podium position anyway.
Yeah.
Unless Mitch can somehow find 6 seconds in 2 laps.
Or if Paul gets a
penalty. Which is unlikely. Well, I mean, Paul's on 6 and Mitch is on 12. So he still needs to get a 3-second gap. Although he did take a decent chunk out of Paul on the last lap, so
if you can get out of DRS, then I mean
3 seconds is feasible, especially if he closes in on Iron to steal some DRS. But I think 6 is way too much.
Yeah, he's not going to get out of DRS.
Especially because he hasn't got out of Paul's DRS, which I don't think is going to give Paul much of a chance to attack. He's quite a long way back and loses time through this final corner. But it is going to keep him closer down the straights.
That Ferrari's not gaining anything. He gained a 10th. Oh no.
Gains a little bit on the braking, but yeah. The Mercedes got a better exit, and it's a Mercedes.
Yeah. Well, Mitch is just going to fly off now. But he's got 6 seconds to gain unless Paul gets another 3, which I don't think's doable at this rate.
Mitch has closed about half a second in on iron, so if he can close another 1.1 this lap, he could have DRS for the final lap, which is going to help him build that gap.
Yeah, he's not actually getting that far away from Paul. And Paul's actually right on the edge of the DRS here.
I think Paul might be chilling it a bit here to make sure he doesn't get another warning.
Yeah.
Knows that 6 seconds is kind of impossible. But if he makes a small error on the last lap, he could lose 3.
And that's half a second there, so it's definitely in the higher speed corners he's losing the most time.
Definitely shouts about front downforce being the limiting factor.
Yeah.
Definitely no problem with mechanical grip. And speaking of mechanical grip, the Williams on their 19 and 20 lap old soft tyres start our final lap of the race.
Yeah, just missed out, to be fair.
Yeah, he got really close, but just couldn't quite get. If he'd have saved a little bit more battery, maybe he could have got on there. But just not quite able to push that Mercedes as quick as he would hope. But he's closing in on Iron fairly quickly. Iron's not really gained anything at all on Johnny after the safety car restart. He's kind of just drove off. The Norwegian. As he comes up to the chicane for the final time, so we get this cool camera where you see the cars just filter through the quite high sausage curves on the insides of both apexes. And flicks it around through sector 2. Tyres won't be too happy about this at this point with the age that they've got on them, but he gets it going pretty well. But his fuel light's red and flashing, so I think his -7 laps have worked out quite well.
Yeah.
Gets all the way to the end and doesn't run out of fuel around here. That would be spicy if that happened.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be completely fine.
About gonna have enough to get around this final corner onto the pit straight, and 70 laps later, he is gonna take the win in a Williams, followed by his teammate Iron, who takes 2nd place also in a Williams.
And that's
Mitch is
be
P3 for now, but Paul jumps in and takes the final spot on the podium, and Mitch did get the 3 seconds, but Paul kept it clean, didn't get another penalty.
Yeah.
And Jordan, after the contact, is going to come home P5, but he is going to get a point for fastest lap as he tries to do some drifting around the final corner.
Oh!
And almost loses the car completely.
At least he's going to finish right. He's
He's going to reverse over the line.
Is it going to disqualify him before he makes it?
I think he'll be fine. He's moving. There you go.
Yep, he just about.
You got a 5-second unserved penalty, which was for speeding in the pits, but I like to imagine it's for reversing over the line, being an automatic 5-second penalty.
And Ian gets driver.
Ian gets driver of the day for Williams. What was that?
Let's just. Let's just complain about the car. 1-2. They complained about the car and then went to get a 1-2.
So we're putting them in realistic Williams for next season, right?
I mean, if no one's got any complaints about it, then I think that's fair. I'm not going to complain about it.
Well, and I mean, I'm not going to complain about it, and we did see that they were complaining about it before this race, and then it didn't matter, but, you know.
Yeah. Oh, and it's now raining.
Of course it is.
And yeah, we don't need a race director, because we just don't. But yeah. 109 minutes.
Ian says we're never doing it again. It was so much pain.
1 hour and 49 minutes that race lasted.
It's fine. It's within the limit.
Oh my. Well, that was.
Oh god.
That was just something else.
It was fun. It was spicy.
You know, I get to see my desktop again for 2 seconds.
Ooh. Let's go into the conference channel. See if any of our drivers want to talk. Alfie says definitely no, but Matthew wants to talk.
Name of. Wait, I've just got a normal black screen.
Wait.
That's all do. So you don't have to see
Yeah,
my
no.
shite desktop. Woo. I am here. Tell them to go wherever I can just drag them in.
Can they join this channel? Or just any?
I'm just reading through what everyone has said.
Ian says he can't talk, no joke. He has another 100% race in 30 minutes.
I can confirm he's not wrong. That was something else. Honestly, that was.
Carnage. Massey's in a channel. Oh, I can track.
Can you? Oh, nice.
Yeah. If it'll fucking scroll. Come on, Discord, something a bitch. There you go. Boop.
Hello.
Hello. What a race!
So what can I say? I was literally killed like 5 laps before the finish.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. As Paul sent, I think it was Paul who sent a bit of a
Audacious lunge.
yeah.
I don't think there's anything else you can call that. Very, very, very optimistic.
Yeah. I mean, my whole race was pretty terrible. Like, half of the race was like P12, P11, then some lucky safety cars, and I don't know. I had pace on the actually wet track, not the dry track, because obviously I had the wet setup. But yeah, when it came up to the last stint, I chose that mediums because I thought, nobody can finish on that soft tires. I thought so, but everybody finished actually, and that wasn't really good.
Yeah, I mean, we knew they'd get there, but in what condition they reached the finish was kind of up in the air, especially with Ian and Johnny not pitting. So they were still on the softs they were on before that safety car. So their tyres were like 20 laps old come the end of the race.
Yeah, that's why I
You were
started
really
to catch
closing on Ian, yeah.
Yeah, I was actually catching up to them, but I was trying, of course, to defend like the whole time against two Ferrari drivers, the Twinsicle and the Tactical. I didn't expect really to get dive bombed in the final sector, like before the pit lane, and there was nothing I could do. Like I lost already traction control, and I got just hit, and I was furious, because I could finish this on the podium. I had no penalties and nothing.
I mean, I had the same thing this season in PCF2, and so I understand exactly how mad you must have been, especially with it being a twice as long race.
Yeah, that was a really long race. I was also tired. Sweat was around me whole time. you know how it feels. 70 laps, yeah. 20 laps race. Never had such an experience, but I must say that was a fun experience.
Yeah, I mean, we don't do 100% races all the time, specifically because they're like 2 hours long. But now and then they are pretty fun to just throw in and go, have at it, boys. So having the All-Star be 100%, I think, just made it that little bit more crazy. On top of whatever the weather decided it was doing.
All right. That was all for me, I guess, because I need to go right now. So see you.
Right, no worries.
Take care.
Cheers, man. See you later. Good race.
Cheers.
Well, that was
crazy.
Yeah.
There is no other word for it. It was nuts.
Yeah. It was absolutely mental. Well, PC3 with the most drivers surviving. I don't think anyone would have predicted that before. However, that is exactly what happened. And yeah, that just sums up everything, shall we say? I mean, yeah, that was ridiculous. The weather and just everything added up in total made just the most unpredictable of races.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I think a Williams 1-2 always has to go down somewhere on the unpredictable scale pretty high up.
in a realistic cars, with wet to inter, to dry, to inters to wet to inters, to dry.
To dry. To safety car to more dries.
I didn't check who had the most pit stops in that race. Surely someone did like an 11 stop and still finished.
I'm not sure.
They would have done at least like 6 or 7. But that's ridiculous. Not sure it's quite what I was expecting going into it. I don't think anyone would have expected that, but yeah. At least we got somewhat of a stream out of this in the end.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Apart from missing, the first few laps, but... Oh. I can upload some of that. Yeah, that was nuts. There's no other word for it. It was nuts.
Yeah. Well, that is going to conclude this season of the All-Star Race. Thank you to everyone who has watched as much as you can, considering we only managed to get going properly from around lap 15. Well, 55 laps of the action was a lot, and considering I don't think the first 15 laps really affected much, considering what happened in the rest of the race. But I don't know if you're gonna like combine the first 15 with this, with your own POV that you got. But yeah, well, the next time you'll see things on the ERO channel. I mean, PlayStation are doing a few off-season races.
I think they're all finished now with the new game launching on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I think everybody's just going to be running to uninstall 2021 right now.
Yeah, that's literally what I'm about to do after that. That's me done with this game. But yeah, if you're still here on Adam's stream, you can actually go over to the ERO channel, and they're doing one last race, I think, right now, like an F4, F5 off season. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and goodbye.